Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 19, and welcome back to our first proper episode of a Geiselsberg map with seasons. Right. Let's do two things at once. Let's be efficient. So, we did have to start over, and I'll tell you why in a minute, but I I sort of thought I was going to have to, and so I had prepared myself mentally and also sort of practically, like what are we going to do if we need to start this map over? And what we're going to do is start up north because last time, right, we started way down south. And when you start down south, you own, I believe, this farm. Hang on, I think I got my, there we go. Let's try it this way. You start with this farm, and I believe this field, and also this property. Yeah. I sold all of these, as you can see, they're gone, and I bought everything up north. This is all us now. But now, we had expanded up to this part of the map on our last save game. But we're going to start up here this time, and we're going to expand down south. So we've got this big grass meadow out to the west. We've got the little grass meadow to the east, and then we've got the forest in the middle, sheep farm to the south, and I also bought the land where the water is, just because I feel bad about taking somebody's water. I do. And we did have to buy all new equipment. Nothing carried over from the save game. So we got the world's ugliest Deutschfar. Oy. But I kind of like it. And we got a great big MB track. The big MB track. So we're going to take this stuff up to the farm now. Then we're going to come back and get some animals. So let us begin right in here. I'm going to hop in here. Fire them up. We need this. We need that. We certainly need that. Okay. So we will go on follow me, and we say like so. Good there. And then we're going to hop in this one. That camera though. Ooh. Fire this up. Let's turn some lights on. And yeah, you get kind of a weird effect with follow me in 19. You get some blinking lights. Let's turn some lights off. Ooh, that didn't work out well. And here we go. So yeah, I got a fantastic tip comment. Somebody said, hey man, are you sure you're okay with seasons on your save game? Is that alright? I thought I was. I really did. And turns out not so much. I was missing some trees and some foliage, and I thought, well, maybe the map maker, pulled some things off the map. Absolutely not the case. Seasons had, as it does sometimes, had nuked some things. They were gone. And I thought about just plowing ahead. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. But there were two problems with that. One is, in that same comment, that person said, you're going to have bigger problems later, which is ominous, no doubt. And the other thing is, these map makers put an unbelievable amount of time and effort into these maps, and they do it for free. And for me, playing a map with things missing, oh dear. Now we've done it. Make it? He makes it. It would be like buying a piece of art to hang in your home, and it doesn't fit where I want to put it, so I'm just going to cut half of it off. No, man. When that artist, when that creative person did all that, they had a specific idea in mind. It's going to look a certain way when it's done. And you can't, particularly something like trees and bushes, those all need to be placed manually, and it takes a lot of time. This I know. So for a map maker to put all that stuff in, and when I fire up my save game with seasons, it's all gone, and I say, close enough. That'll do. It's really not close enough, and it's disrespectful to the map maker, and I didn't want to do that. Also, I noticed some texture errors, and I think it could be because we were running the real dirt color mod and some various other things. And then when we fired up seasons, some of that may have carried over. It does some weird things in the XML. Seasons it's a big mod, and it changes just about every part of Farm Sim. So it's not inconceivable that there was some corruption in there, you know what I mean? Something was a little busted in the XML. Something was not working properly, and that's why we had some grass in fields where there shouldn't have been and various other things. But Best thing, I'm grateful that I got that comment. Best thing is just to start over and be real about it and do it properly. So we will get settled up here, and then I guess we'll take the, if we're going to be hauling animals, we'll probably take the MB track. I think this little Deutz is 107 horsepower, could probably handle it, but being out on roads in traffic, maybe a little bit more horsepower is a better idea. God, that thing is loud. Alright. So we will get this parked up. How do we want to do this? Let us, before we start unhooking things, let's take the MB track over to the pond and fill up. And we don't necessarily need to put that in the trough at the moment, but let's at least bring it back to the yard. So we're going to put this right here for now. What about here? Yeah, right here. We're going to set the brake. Shut it off. Here we go. Right in here. Come off of follow me. Fantastic. Now the brake goes on automatically. I think that's new in the vehicle control add-on. The brake seems to go on automatically anytime you come off course play, a helper, or follow me. It's not a bad thing. It's just taking me a little getting used to. It didn't do that in the past. You know, I was thinking, a lot of people throughout history have said that any type of crisis, any type of setback is an opportunity. Because, I mean, if you're a kid, you probably haven't said this yet, but once you get to be an adult, either you say it yourself or you hear other adults say, man, I need a do-over about this thing or that thing. Things happen in your life, choices that you make, and you think, oh, God, I'd like to have that one back. I'd like to be able to redo that knowing what I know now. I would not have made the same choice. And that's true for a lot of things. You would have done it differently. And there's a flip side to that. There's a flip side to everything. And the flip side to that is, if you could go back and do it all again, you'd have to do all that work again, too. You know, nobody ever mentions that. And so when I realized that we would need to lose our save game, we had 71 hours in that save game. And when I realized that we were going to lose that save game, the first thought is, oh, come on, man, I don't want to do all that work again. And then the second thought is, but you were just going to be farming anyway. It's all just farming. That's the thing. And, I'll turn this back on. Right here, can we start filling? Yeah, we can. There we go. And because you have to do all that work again, you can do things differently. And there were things about this map that I didn't know when I first saw it, and then you just kind of jump in. First time I fired up this map, I owned those farms to the south. I mean, you would too. It's not like I specifically own them. But when you start the map, you are down south, right? If you want to, you can sell those farms and start anywhere you want, but I didn't think to do that. I just jumped in and started buying animals, and so that southern farm was our farm. Okay, that's cool. But it doesn't have to be that way. And so when I restarted, I was about to do the same thing. Not necessarily out of habit, but, you know, you just get in, well, the habit. Yeah, the word fits. You just, because things have happened that way in the past, you just do them that way again. And it doesn't have to be that way. When you redo something, when you get that do-over, you will have to do the work again, but you can do it differently. So I'm excited about this because we did not spend a lot of time in the northern part of the map. There's plenty of map up here that we rarely saw when we were down south. And we get to move in a different direction. And with seasons, you really sort of have to. And there were times in our last save game where we harvested crops 2 and 3 times in a single week, right? Even on normal plant growth speed, normal crop growth speed, the crops would almost mature overnight, just about. So we're going to leave this here for the moment and head over and get some animals. Just about. So as quickly as you could get seed in the ground, come back the next day and it's ready to be harvested. With seasons, obviously, you know this. If you're familiar with seasons, you know this. If you're not familiar with seasons, what it does is modifies Farming Simulator radically and really limits what happens on any given day. It structures the game around a calendar which is something that is missing in base game. I think it's missing. Other people may think it's just fine. In my opinion, it really needs that calendar. It really needs some structure. Seasons adds that, but you got to do what you can do. You can't do what you want to do. You can do what you can do. And very often how do I want to say this? Very often there are things that you need to happen, and it's not time for them to happen. So right now I would love to get crop in the ground, but it's too cold. And it's too cold and we haven't prepped our fields yet. So we'll need to do that. Now there are times when you can't even prep your fields. If they're frozen, you can't even do non-crop stuff. You can't plow or cultivate or anything. So it's a super cool bot in that way. Weeds now, I believe, are mandatory. You cannot turn weeds off, but the whole field doesn't go to weed in one cycle. You get little patches of weeds, sporadic weeds. I like that. And I believe, well, I know there's also moisture. I have an unauthorized copy of Greenwich that I've never shared and never recorded a video of. Kept that private, just wanted to test it. And the moisture is, I mean, you got to really like monitor the forecast for rain, because if your crops get dry, they will start to die. Again, not all at once, just in little bits here and there. But it's enough, to take a little bit out of a yield. So all those things, I'm really been missing that, because it's been what, almost 10 months since this game came out. We've been playing for 10 months. Well, now in fairness, Seasons did come out a couple months back, but I haven't really been playing it on any maps. I tested it a little bit, which is weird, because as much as I was waiting for it, then when it came out, I didn't really use it. But I think it's because so much of my farming now is on camera, like on the YouTubes. So I don't really do a lot of farming off camera, other than to get a map ready for the next episode. Right, so we'll get this backed up, buy some sheeps, we'll take them over there, get them fed, get them watered, and if we have time, if we have time, we may try to throw some fertilizer. But would you, though? I mean, Seasons, the whole thing about Seasons is it makes things realistic. Would you throw fertilizer this early in the spring in the snow? I don't know if you would or not. Let's see about some animals. I said let's see about some animals. Is our HUD off? What's going on here? Open animal dialogue. Here we go. Pigs. Sheep. There we go. Now, do we want to buy fatter? Skinnier? Ooh. They're all different breeds. Okay. What's the difference? Color? Oh, no. Okay, it's down here. Large breed of sheep grows moderately fast. Medium breed. Doesn't require a lot of feed. Oh, this is so cool. Grows extremely fast, produces a modest amount of wool, requires a lot of feed, is prolific. All right. Produces no wool. Requires little feed as an adult. I think Dorset is where we're at. Moderately fast. Medium. Relatively prolific. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Now, I guess we can mix and match, but I don't want to do that because it's going to confuse me about our yield. You know what I mean? I'm not going to have any idea, like, if we start making money, how and why are we making money? Is it because of this breed or that breed? So I think, for the time being, let's just stick with one brand. You know what I mean? One brand. One brand, yeah. One company of sheep. No, one breed. Let's stick with one breed. So if we do or don't make money, we know it's because of that breed. We can try another if it's not working, but we won't end up, you know what I mean? Let's not muddy the waters. Here we go. God, it's so much more immersive and atmospheric with Seasons. It's not so much the snow, although the snow is very cool, and I'm glad it's snowing in our first episode. It's not so much the snow as it is the lighting. When it's cloudy and overcast like this and the sun really, it's like it's hard to tell even where it's coming from. just very hazy and sort of indistinct lighting. It really makes me feel like late winter, early spring. It's just got that look to it. And that's an amazing thing that a map maker and a modder could pull that off. And I guess some credit to Giants too. I mean, I'm not a big Giants fan. I like the sim. I don't like the company. But credit where credit is due, and they have made an amazing platform for us to play and for modders to work with as well. Modders get in there and do what they do and make this game a lot more than, I wouldn't say more than Giants intended it to be, but I feel like they've taken it in directions that Giants either never envisioned or maybe wanted to take it in that direction, but just didn't know how. But the modders have figured it out, and I think it's amazing. I love this sim. I really do. Since the first time I played it, totally hooked. On FS19, is it Bjornholm? Nordholm? I don't know. The Scandinavian map, the Norwegian map. And as soon as I played it, I just thought, this is me all day. Perfect fit. All right, so we'll come through here. And, I mean, we've got time to go get another... Oh, no, we really don't. Where are we at? We're at 16 minutes. I was thinking we have time to go get another load of animals, but we really don't, because we got to get some food and water going for these little sheeps that we just got, and that'll take a minute. And you may have seen when we pulled through here, I did get a skid steer loader. It's parked under the awning. And just to clarify something else too, I'm not going to do any money cheats in this save game, and I'm not going to, typically I'll cheat in 1 million euro just to get started. And my rationale is, you know what, I've started enough maps in this sim. Oh, sorry, don't knock the sheep around. I've started enough maps. I've started enough save games. I've earned my bones. I don't need to start from absolute base game. And I typically, I don't know, I prefer my own type of equipment. And so I typically get rid of the equipment that the map maker included with the map. And to do that, I'll very often cheat in 1 million euro and, you know, let's get started. Let's get going here. But I'm not going to do that with this map because we sold land and because we're starting with pretty modest equipment. We don't have a combine harvester. We don't have a seeder or planter or anything. We don't have mowers or rakes. So we're sort of light on equipment right now, and also these tractors are super affordable. That Deutzfahr was like 20,000 euro. Let's see if we get our... We do. Fantastic. So we're gonna get rid of all these like so. Confirm. Beautiful. So we'll put this back in gear. We're gonna pull forward a little bit. Whoa, we gotta run away. Oh, okay. We got 2 runaways, and they have magical properties. Floating over walls. Hey, you know what? That happens. So yeah, the Deutzfahr was 20,000 euro. And I believe the comparably sized tractor that came with the map that we sold was like 140,000 euro. So between the land that we saw and that big forest south... Yeah, the big forest down by this south map, I think, sells for 398,000 is what we got for that land. So we really don't need to cheat in any money. And I think we're also going to do... I think, because we don't own an arable field at the moment, and I don't plan to buy one this season, I think we may... Carefully. I think we may just stick with sheep and silage for a minute. Maybe. Maybe. And you can see I did buy 2 tanks, those 2 placeable tanks, and those tie in with the silo system. So we will have access to, how do I want to say this? If we put something in one, we'll have access to it in the other. They're close enough together that I don't think we'll need to take advantage of that. And I sort of don't want to. You know, it's not, I mean, now we're getting a little hokey as far as, you know, playing realistically. But if we put lime in one, we can take it out of the other. I would prefer that, one of those is designated for seed and the other is designated for fertilizer or whatever. And we would need to keep track of that in our head because there's no, you know what I mean, honor system. There's no real enforcement. Let's line this up a little better. We can be a better farmer than that. Right. Or maybe we can't. There we go. There we go. So I did install those tanks on the farm, and I looked at, there's a hay barn that I really like. It's got the screen sides that you can raise and lower. I think that's super cool, but I couldn't find a very flat place to put it. And I'm like terrified of using any type of placeable terrain for fear of causing irreparable damage to the map. So I did not place that, but I think this meadow right over here in front of us now, it was to our left, now it's in front of us. I think this could be a good place to put that. Just need to figure out where. Need to figure out where that'll go. So, let's get this parked up. Oh, this will work out just right. Let's get this parked up. We will come back and take a bale off there. I just got the pallet forks for our skid steer loader, and we're going to use those. We're just going to ram those into a bale to take it off there. It can be done. I'm told by real farmers it can be done, and it is done. It's a time-saving thing. It's not, 100% recommended. It's not absolutely legit, but you can do it in a pinch. So we're going to do it today. We can put this thing right over here. And I would also like to look for a place to store wool. I know in 17 on Oakfield, I had... there were several of them. There was one for brown bales, there was one for square bales, there was one for wool. And essentially what it did, it was a shed, but it had like the auto load script written into it somehow. And when you got close to it with bales, it just gobbled them up, and there was like a chalkboard out front that told you how many bales you had. It was a super, super cool mod. But what I liked about it was, because if you get hundreds and hundreds of bales on a map at once, your frame rate is not always happy about that. So what this did was it sort of represented how many bales you have without killing your frame rate. Yeah, I think we're going to park right in here. So that worked, and I haven't seen anything like that for 19, but if there was something like that for 19, I think that would be fantastic. Because we're going to have a lot of wool, and we're going to try to make money with wool. At least to start with. Wool and silage bales. So, if we could have a place to put both of those while we wait for a good price. Hang on. Through the doorway. Try to get this thing backed up. There it is. Put it in gear, set the brake, lights off, engine off, out we go. So that would be cool. And what else? I think there was one other thing. I can't remember. I would like to get some solar panels going. That little, in the U.S. we call them cell phones, mobile, whatever it is you want to call it. And is it N or R? No, I don't want to pick it up, man. I want to unhook it. There we go. Like so. And like so. Like so. There you go. Cell phone tower, mobile phone tower, whatever it is you want to call it. There is a placeable one. And you can make some decent money from that. It's not terribly expensive, but it's that consistent, steady, passive income. And that works for me. Just to be able to make a little bit of money all the time. And we've got the money to buy it right now. So I'm going to try to play very realistically, economically. And that's not always the fastest game. It's not always the most fun, but it is realistic. So we'll open this door. And we're going to put these bales up, I believe, right here, which is where we had them last time. Oh, no. Is it snowing inside? Oh, that's weird. It looks like it is, but it's not. Interesting. Interesting. When we first looked through here, it looked like it was snowing inside. Just a little bit. But then as we got close, it stopped. That is, I wonder if that has something to do with draw distance or LOD. I think this has the FPS distance mod installed. Could be wrong about that. But, you know what? Little details like that, they're not game breakers for me. You know, there's 1,000 things about this game that I would like to be different, but there are plenty of things about it that are just right. And I think ultimately, the things that work about this game outweigh the things that don't, at least for me. Sir. And what's happening is, see, what had happened was, so break. It's these straps, man. If you got one bale next to another with the strap still on, oh, it doesn't like that. Right. So let's try this. Hop back in here. Level this a little bit. Brake is off. Put her in gear. And like so. Like so. Come on. There we go. I'm trying to do this very gently. Still no, huh? Oh dear. Holy monkey. Okay. Everybody just be cool. Everybody just be cool. Alright. We're going to set the brake. We're going to hop out. It's all going to pieces on me. These bales could fly everywhere. What is going on? Interesting. Hang on. We're going to sort this out. So, turn this back on. Alright. I don't know what that was all about. Did it... Looks like it released. Maybe? Maybe? That was very strange. Brake is on, of course. There we go. Carefully. Whew. Alright. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's those auto load scripts. They'll do a number on you. Right. So now take this in here. Right through here. Oh, beautiful. Through there. I did go with the skid steer loader. This thing is, I don't know, 80 grand or something, 40 grand. I don't know. It's kind of expensive. But this little room that we're going into right now is so tight, particularly for wool, where the pallets spawn. All right, and now we got another thing going on. So if we back this up, back it up, I said. Golly, I don't know what's going on today with our bale physics. Get off of there. There you go. What the hell was I talking about? Oh, this room. Yeah, this room is so little. It's really hard to have any kind of a tractor in here, even a tiny one. I gotta check something. Let's go in here, because it puts something in the trough. Alright, it says they're full, so that means this bale is now 3,000 liters. Would that be about right? Sure is. Okay. Well, let's just set it down somewhere. Get it out of the way. How about right over here? There. Beautiful. Alright, and this thing can go right here. Park it. There we go. Engine off. And we are at 29 minutes and 30 seconds. That is perfect. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 19. This is Geiselsberg Seasons. There we go. Here's your screenshot. This is Geiselsberg with Seasons. We'll see you next time. Take care now.